Welcome to Darling Adventures. I'm Janice Loria, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make an easy drawstring bag. For this project you'll need one piece of fabric. Mine is 24 by 8 inches. You will need 2 ribbons, a thick one that will be the casing and a thinner one that will be your drawstring. And also, because my colors are so contrasting, I'm going to have a thread that matches the ribbon and a thread that matches the fabric. So our first step is going to be to fold our fabric in half, wrong sides together. This is counterintuitive, but we're actually going to be making French seams today. So the first step will be to fold this wrong sides together and pin this raw edge. I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam down this raw edge. I'm going to make sure to reverse my stitches at the beginning to lock the seam in place and remove pins as I go. And reverse stitch at the end. The next thing I want to do is I want to trim that 1/4 inch seam down to 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to do that using a rotary cutter. Now that we have 2 1/8 inch seams, we're going to turn this inside out and we're going to press these seams flat. I'm going to pin these seams and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam, and that's going to encase that raw edge inside the seam allowance, making a French seam. Now that I have both seams completed, I'm going to turn this right side out. I'm going to, of course, press my seams, and we're going to box the corners. To help with boxing corners, I'm going to want to put a crease here. It'll be a guideline. So on that folded end, we're just going to quickly press a crease. We're going to line up the side seam with the bottom crease to make a point. And we're going to pin it. I'm going to use my hem gauge, set it to 1 inch, and use that to mark 1 inch in from the corner point, and I want to make a line there that will be my stitching line. After you've sewn this seam, you're going to take scissors or a rotary cutter and you're going to trim this down to 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so as you can see, we now have raw edges here on the right side of the fabric, so we're going to make French seams by turning that inside out, pressing this seam, pinning it, and then stitching a 1/4 inch seam. So next we want to finish the top edge, and to do that we're going to turn this inside out. And using a hem gauge, we want to make one fold that is a 1/4 of an inch, and of course we'll press that. And then we're going to make a second fold that is a 1/2 an inch and press that. So now we're going to pin our fold along the top to keep it in place and stitch it approximately 1/8 of an inch from this inside folded edge. So we finished our upper edge, which is nice and neat, and now we're ready to put the casing on. My bag is 7.5 inches wide, so that comes out to 15 inches in circumference. I want to add an extra couple of inches and then cut my casing at 17 inches. So now I'm going to fold this end 1 inch and pin that fold in place. And do the same on the other side. Now I'm ready to pin the casing to my drawstring bag. I'm going to come about 1 inch down from the top, and I want to line this edge of my casing with the inch mark and pin it in place. And you have to be careful here not to pin through both layers. You're just pinning through one layer. and then continue working your way around the drawstring bag. I finished pinning all the way around, and you'll notice that I've left an opening here at the center, and that's where our drawstring is going to be coming out. So I'm going to sew as close to the edge of this ribbon as I possibly can, going nice and slow so that I can keep a nice, straight, even stitch. I'm reversing at the beginning to lock it in place. So now that I'm at the end, I'm going to reverse my stitch, lock it in place, and trim my threads. And repeat that process on the other edge of the ribbon. So now we finished the casing and we're ready to cut our drawstring and slip it through. I'm going to cut my drawstring at about, I'm just going to eyeball this actually, maybe 6 inches past the edge of the bag. All right, so the trick to getting your drawstring through the casing is a safety pin. You're going to take it and attach it to one end of your drawstring. Then you're going to use the safety pin to feed it through the casing and go around the entire length of the bag. So now, here I am. I can remove the safety pin. I like to put little knots here in the end of the drawstrings, so it's a nice little decorative detail. And there you go. So these drawstring bags are quick and easy, and they're a great way to make gift bags for wine bottles or makeup bags. There's so many applications for them. Visit darlingadventures.com for more sewing tutorials, videos, and ebooks. Thank you for watching, and as always, may all your adventures be darling adventures.